What's up, fans?
Welcome to Behind the Hawk, and today we're here with IT. Present yourselves.
My name's Owen Kesterson.
And I'm in Sudak.
And we're just gonna ask you guys some questions about how your shop and how it goes. What made you guys choose IT over the other shops?
Well, for me, it was kind of a tough choice between engineering and IT. I really like both of the subjects, but IT kind of won it out for me over the fact that one of my good friends chose it, and so I just kind of went with that. Honestly, the content of the courses is very similar, so yeah.
Yeah, I just was kind of interested in computers and thought this would be like a good shop because it makes a lot of money as well.
What does it stand for, like IT?
So the formal name of the program is ITS. It stands for Information Technology Services. IT is just information technology.
PC or Mac, and why?
So for me, I'm gonna have to go with PC. I just think it's typically they have better processing power. Also, I don't really like Apple as a company, so I tend not to use Macs.
I agree with Owen on this one. PC just has like more customization. Like you're not stuck to one OS, which is an operating system. It just is better, has more customization.
In your guys' shop, which one do you usually use more?
So when we're in shop, we only use PCs. We don't actually have Macs in our shop to use, but we just have really high-end laptops that we work on.
Why does design matter in technology?
That's a really good question. So design is super important in technology. Every single aspect of technology, you work with design, and generally speaking, like the efficiency of a device or how it's going to run and how certain software is going to run on it. It's all super important with the design of the individual components and how they all work together. So like when you build a computer or something like that, you have to think about all different aspects of it and how it's all going to fit together.
Yeah, to build on that, not only like PCs themselves, but also like the network they run on, which is what we mostly learn about, like how the internet works and how devices are interconnected.
What is your favorite thing we learned so far?
My personal favorite thing that we've learned so far, I think it's probably going to be the coding aspect of it, like the developing aspect of it. That's what we do in our theory class, is we learn coding and programming, and it's just fun. You can make certain programs and things. Like I've made a game out of it. It was a very simple game. It was like Cookie Clicker basically, but I thought it was fun, and it's you can kind of personalize it. You can make it your own.
Yeah, I think my favorite part has been probably the hardware aspect of it, like learning how computers are made and what parts they use and how those parts work.
Since you said you did like a coding thing, like for your game, does coding have to do anything with robotics?
Coding has a little bit to do with robotics. So when you're making like a robot system, you are going to be coding all of it pretty much to make it function correctly, how it would move and stuff like that. Yeah, coding does have a little bit to do with robotics.
What would you tell a freshman that's exploring IT?
For a freshman that's exploring IT right now, so there's a couple things. So our freshmen that explore the shop are only with one of the teachers, Miss Abate, and she's a great teacher. She does a great job, but they don't actually get to experience Mr. Norton, who I would say is probably. You spend most of your time with him is the thing. Like in our year, we spend most of our days with Mr. Norton. In junior year, you spend the entire day with Mr. Norton because again, like the freshmen are with the other teacher. So I would just say if they're not having a good time, I think it's worth it to just consider that they're not getting the full experience. I know there's a lot of freshmen that like come to IT thinking it's going to be all like, oh, I get to make video games all the time. And that's not necessarily what we do. It's part of what we do, but it's not all of what we do. So yeah, I would probably just say that.
Do you think AI is helping or hurting our jobs?
So that's a really good question, Ethan. I think that AI is hurting jobs right now.
I also think it's a really good question. I'm going to take a little bit of a different stance. I think AI is actually helping a lot of the IT side of jobs. AI is a really useful tool for pretty much every single field in IT. Like there's a lot of subfields, and it's useful in almost every single one of them. When it comes to coding, having like an AI as your tool, as your assistant is really helpful. You can make entire apps just from like a couple prompts in Claude or ChatGPT, And so I think it's actually very helpful to IT jobs. As far as jobs overall, I think it's going to end up in the long run, it's going to end up being more helpful because in almost every big breakthrough of technology that we've seen, like even with like computers, so many people lost jobs, but then so many more jobs were created out of it. So I think AI is just going to be another example of that. So maybe in the short term, people will lose jobs, but in the long term, I think we'll see them bounce back.
If you could recommend one AI platform to someone, what would it be?
I'm gonna have to go with Claude. I think it's just the all around the best one. I just mentioned it. It is the best at coding. It's the best at writing, but it's not really great at like math, which is fine. No AI is really great at math, but you shouldn't be using AI to do math homework anyways. So
What do you think about ChatGPT?
I have a lot of thoughts on ChatGPT. I mean, I've used ChatGPT for almost 2 years now consecutively. I actually paid for the paid version of it for a long time because I do think it's a very helpful tool. But I think as we see these other AIs emerging, like Google Gemini has become very prominent the past few years. I mean, whenever you search anything up on Google now, it comes up as Google Gemini. Like there's an AI right at the top. Other AIs, I mean, I'm blanking right now. Grok from Twitter or Meta AI. All these other ones are emerging. I think ChatGPT is honestly getting kind of left behind. I don't think they're improving it as much as they could be. They're putting all of their features into their paid versions when they really should be adding them to the free version. And I think it's losing a lot of its edge, even though it was like the very first one. It was like the breakthrough. I think the other ones are kind of improving it faster than it is.
Do you guys prefer coding, hardware, or network?
Personally, I prefer the networking side of it. I did just go to skills districts for internetworking, and I won gold. So I would say definitely networking. I mean, I've just studied it a lot more, and I'm just better at it, I think, overall than the other two.
I prefer the hardware side, although we don't get to learn as much about that in the shop. We mostly focus on networking, but I think it's my favorite because it's just like easy to learn and is important to know.
What about skills? Can you tell us about skills and how IT and skills work together?
Yeah, absolutely. So Skills USA is a kind of big organization. I would say it's one of the big three clubs that we have at the school, the others being DECA and FFA. Skills USA is kind of like a competition amongst trade schools, amongst trade students, where you go and you take tests and you head out to Western Mass, or if you go to nationals, you head out to Atlanta and you take tests and you kind of compete for who's the best at whatever kind of subsection of your shop that you're in. As far as how IT and skills work together, I mean, we do a lot together. IT and skills, I think, are very intrinsically linked together. The current president of Skills, Rusi Pena, is a senior in IT, and many of the students that are on the skills like board or like the skills leadership are part of IT. I think there's like 3 out of 6 maybe, or 4 out of 6 of them are. And we have a state chapter representative who is also from IT. So IT and skills are very intrinsically linked. There's a lot of emphasis on it from our shop.
What are your options for co-op if you're in IT?
So honestly, this is one I'm not entirely sure on. I know this mid-junior year we get opportunities. I'm fairly certain we just have a lot of tech companies on our radar that look out for prospective IT students. They contact our teacher and then he recommends them to us. Pretty sure that's just how kind of the system goes. I'm not sure. Do you know anything more about it?
I don't really know anything about co-op.
No.
Yeah. Do you guys think you can work with Apple as like co-op?
So we definitely could, and we definitely can. We recently had a student in IT. He left IT and went to a different shop, but he did work for Apple as an intern, which was kind of a pretty crowning achievement for him. Apple is a very large tech company. It's a very successful company, so a lot of people would love to work for it. We definitely could. It's definitely in our field.
Sounds like a good job. What does your life look after you graduate with IT?
So after IT, there's a lot of job opportunities because things like AI and IT are a very big growing field. So there's many jobs we could take in hardware, networking, and software, all that kind of thing.
I would just expand on it a little bit. So a lot of IT students look at 2 or 4 year colleges after high school. our shop is not one of the ones where you can kind of just go and get like an apprenticeship at some company and then work your way up through that company, like maybe one of the more trades focused shops. You know what I mean? I would definitely say, yeah, college is a big thing. Also, but we do graduate high school with a lot of certifications. So we have certification exams that we can take. They're, I mean, kind of like any other shop has certifications, right? But ours are like field-specific degrees that we can get that companies look out for in like when they're trying to hire someone. So there's definitely a lot of variation in what you can do after high school. A lot of students go on to just right into the workforce. A lot of them go on to four-year colleges, though.
What's something people don't realize about IT?
I think a lot of people have this kind of sense about people who work in IT. Like they're all like, it's kind of a bad stigma around it. I feel like a lot of people think that we're all like losers or something like that. I don't think that's necessarily the case. I mean, I don't think I'm a loser. I don't think Aiden's a loser. We have a lot of cool people in our shop, and I kind of wish that stigma wasn't there.
So how could marketing help promote IT?
So I think, giving our shop a lot more like notice, I think at this school, I think a lot of people write it off, like especially like freshmen, like trying to pick their shops. A lot of people write it off as just like, oh, IT. I don't want to do that because it kind of sounds lame to a lot of people. But what we do a lot of interesting stuff. Like we make a lot of cool projects. We build websites and things like that. And I think that could be interesting for a lot of people. It's also a really good knowledge field for, I think, any field that you're going into. Having a little bit of tech knowledge is important, and especially in today's world. So I think if you guys were just like to just kind of put us out there a little bit, post us on social media or something like that, a day in the life or sorts, anything like that could be helpful.
Yeah. You mentioned a website. Could you tell us about that and how is that helping promote marketing?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just start, I guess, from the beginning. So a couple years ago, our teacher, Mr. Norton, bought a domain. He bought the website for www.hawkspan.net. And he basically posted a bunch of student news on there. He worked with Mr. D'Onofrio in the newspaper club and put a bunch of run organizations on there. He would post sports games and the scores of them and stuff like that, like who won, general student life stuff like that. He would promote different shops on it. And now recently this year he repurchased the website and is starting to bring it back, developing it again. And so actually, we've seen this podcast and it's doing pretty well from my understanding. And so we're actually posting it on the website. So whenever a new episode releases, he'll make a post on the Hawkspan website about the new episode, like who you guys are talking to. So he'll probably make one about this one too. Maybe some people are watching this on that website right now. Who knows?
Never know.
A gift for you guys, y'all.
You have a gift for us?
Yep.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
And that's a wrap of Behind the Hawk, same school, new perspective.